Right now, Mark and Lard.
BBC Radio 1.
Hello, this is Mark Radcliffe.
And this is Mark Riley, the artist formerly known as Lard.
And we were at Radio 1 from 1991 to 2004, the golden age. When I was growing up, I think in lunch hour at school, I remember listening to Johnny Walker. Just to make sure, that I knew exactly where the Rubettes were in the top 10 that week. It all seemed terribly important. But I suppose that, for the first time, made me start to feel that I was slightly more obsessive about pop music than everyone else I knew, in a way.
And from there on in, it's pretty obvious, really. I mean, John Peel was the next port of call.
I work hard in my community. What a wonderful voice he has. That's life.
I joined the Fall. He loved the Fall, and I can remember vividly being sat in my bedroom listening to him one night, and for the first time ever, I heard myself on the radio, There was a guy on the not yet founded Radio 5 Live, Quentin Cooper, and he'd been a fan of, the bands that I'd been in. And he approached me one day whilst I was plugging him, and he said to me, actually, would you like to present a programme for us called Hit the North? I said, well, I really don't think so. I've never done anything on the radio at all, and I don't think I'm right for it, but there's another guy, he's called Mark Radcliffe, why don't you use him? So they tried Mark out for Hit the North, and it worked, and he got the job.
The North.
Quentin came back to me and said, look, OK, you're not presenting the programme, but we've got this slot every other week. Would you like to fill it? I was terrified, but I took it on. My presence on air just became more and more. Mark and I got this relationship going with the different roles that we were playing within it, and it seemed to be going down pretty well.
Entertainment's all very well, but I think it's irresponsible of a show the Graveyard Shift show. We wanted to have a music show, we wanted live sessions, but we wanted sort of poetry and readings on it, and we liked the idea of some of the smart, funny people who were coming through, people like Harry Hill, who no one had heard of at that time.
Do's and don'ts of cars. Number one, very important this one, don't pump the tyres up so much that they burst.
I remember that Chris Evans was giving Matthew Bannister a lot of grief at the time by wanting Fridays off to do TFI Friday. Yeah, he came to us and said, look, we want you to try your hand at the breakfast show, it'll be something different.
I'm like, oh, God, I don't want to do that, really, I talked it over with my wife, and me and Mark had a couple of conversations, and we decided that we didn't want to do it. I phoned Matthew back and said, listen, we don't want to do this. And he said, well, look, here's the money, but obviously, it'll have to be done in London. So I thought, right, well, here's 2 get-outs, we'll say, well, we're not moving to London. So they said, oh, well, OK, right, well, we'll do it in Manchester then. I was like, oh, bloody hell. So then we said, let's ask for loads more money. And they said, yeah, all right then. And then we were stuck. I
was exhausted all the time, and the thought of going to bed at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, that's no life. You've got to be driven to do that. I think you've got to get up in the morning and go, right, this is horrible, but I'm doing the breakfast show, or I'm doing the biggest radio show in Britain, where I would get up and go, not before the milkman.
When we came off the breakfast show, which had been full of different bits and features and everything, I remember talking to Matthew and him saying, well, what do you think you might do in the afternoon? And I distinctly remember saying to him, I thought we might play some records and talk in between. And Matthew said, that sounds fine, let's try that. And so off we went again. I was reading an article in the paper. Barry White was talking about his love life. And I read this article that he said he made love to his wife, but he'd said that him and his wife had made love on the dining table, you see. And I said, well, this is a spectacular achievement for a dining table. I said, can you put a pitch shifter on, so to make me like Barry White? Baby, climbing on the dining table of love and all that.
Good morning. This is Radio 1's Beached Whale of Love, Harry White.
But the accent kept slipping, so into kind of Lancastrian. And so again, that was like, oh, yeah, that sounds funny. That there's this guy who's trying to put on this kind of impression of being, oh, Mr. Loverman, hey, have you seen the barm cakes on sale at the shop? And he would slip into this kind of the mask would drop all the time, but then he would pull it back and carry on. So that was how that character came about.
How's it down there today?
Oh, it's a bit grim.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's near Bournemouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The ShireHorses came about really because we used to just do these. We do like the history of pop and the Kraftwerk story or the David Bowie stories, and just to illustrate throughout those little dramatisations, in inverted commas, we would record spoof versions of songs. So we would have You Seen My Chopper Bike? Tour de France, got 2 wheels, it's not a trike, Tour de France. Or, ground beef whiskers to Ginger Tom and stuff like that,
Ground beef whiskers for Ginger Tom. 8, 7. Ground beef whiskers for Ginger 5, Tom. Hamilton Academical 1. Stenhouse Muir. Take 17. Your worming pills and put your flea collar on.
And of course we headlined Glastonbury, because everybody knows, if you've got any sense whatsoever, if you're playing a festival, you want to get it done and then have a good time. And so we headlined at 10 o'clock on the Friday morning on the second stage.
I wanna roll with it, I wanna tartify, I want some meals, jelly deals, and some bubble and squeak like me ma used to make, and I want it to take away.
I look back on it extraordinarily fondly and with a great sense of luck, really.
The Radio 1 days were, I wouldn't change a thing, really.
Vintage.
Out on Blue 6.
Good stuff. Right, first off tonight, the Dead Kennedys from 1980, Holiday in Cambodia. They came from San Francisco. Vocalist called Jello Biafra. Hello, Mrs. Biafra. Is your Jello playing out?
Mr. Ratcliffe, is it Mr. Biafra in reception for you?
And he ran for mayor in San Francisco, and one of his campaign thrusts was that all businessmen should wear clown suits. I thought they already did. And those horrible slip-on shoes with the buckle across that Mike Baldwin wears. And then the House of... Oh, just forgot to mention, we got some requests for the Dead Kennedys from Andy and a Nick in Scotland, Rob Furness in Ilkeston in Derbyshire, and Paul in Devon, who starts his letter, Dear Andy. It's nice to make an impact, isn't it? And then the House of Love, I Don't Know Why I Love You. And they used to include, of course, Terry Bickers of the Excellent Levitation. And on recent evidence, Chadwick's boys may rue the day they left Tell at the motorway services. Funny places, those motorway service stations, aren't they? Apart from having an all-night, ready-to-microwave, shrink-wrap, prefabricated Snackorama luncheonette diner made entirely out of concrete, chrome and polystyrene, it's always called the Country Harvester Shepherd's Old Rustic Barn Farmyard Kitchen. And who does buy those ceramic cart horses they sell in the shop? Oh my God, darling, we'll have to turn back. I've forgotten the ceramic cart horse. There, don't worry, dear. We can always pick one up on the motorway. Hey up, love goblins, pull up a toadstool and ponder what mysteries the universe holds. Telescopes at the ready then.
Is anybody out there?
Live from the Palace of Glittering Delights, 1FM. Here's Mark Ratcliffe.
Hello to you all from the north.
All right, Lard.
Not bad, Arkin.
Right, are you ready for this? Rats can't vomit.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the show wouldn't be the show without this bit of the show, would it?
Oh, absolutely.
The font of all knowledge. Or something. Rats can't vomit.
An occasional series.
For the third night running. Tonight, fishy facts. Most interesting. Genghis Khan murdered his own brother in an argument over a fish.
Yeah, he battered him. You get it? Battered, fish, cod, scampi, basket, cabaret. Get it?
Very good, lad, yes. The Japanese eat dolphins' testicles as a highly prized delicacy.
Cobblers.
Yes, apparently.
Cods, balls, fish, scampi, cabaret, knackers. You get it?
Flipping heck, lad, haven't you got anything more useful to say in this spot?
I have actually, yeah. In the Korean War, more people were killed by cowboy sturgeons than in the fighting.
You're joking?
No.
Is that true?
That's true.
That's true, let's have a look.
Have a look, where?
Surgeons, you loon! Cowboy surgeons!
Yeah, surgeons, sturgeons, cod, battered balls, liver. onions, little, large.
Yes. All right, yes, very good. Rats can't vomit. We'll return more font of human knowledge tomorrow night. Incidentally, you may be interested to know that tonight's programme is something of a technological guinea pig, because we are the first Radio 1 show to be broadcast using the brand new Clockwork Radio. Yes, that's right, the Clockwork Radio. No need for electricity. The mechanism is completely inaudible and will not affect your listening pleasure. Like a Rolls-Royce cruising at 70, this little beauty is as quiet as a mute church mouse who's keeping extra quiet because it's a little bit hoarse. And of course, the beauty of Clockwork is that it just keeps on going day after day with meticulous regularity. It's finely balanced motion ensuring absolute synchronised timing, which will never slip or let you down.
Bluminette, lad, give it a whine for God's sake, and we'll never make it to midnight. As I say, quiet, reliable.
Easy there, not too many times, you ham-fisted hand-shandy ham-shanker. You're going to break it. Stop it, you tosser!
Nice one, Arkid. You've knackered it.
Best bang a tune on.
Good job the gramophone's run on camping gas, eh?
Wasn't that a long record? My gramophone needle was right up the little dog's arse.
It's Sunday!
Monday.
Radio 1 Vintage.
Hi, this is Mark Radcliffe, and you're listening to Radio 1 Vintage. Still to come.
Look at that, right under the judge's nose, as clean a nutmeg as you'll ever see.
Away!
It's so naive, mate, to think that by showing their bottoms and front bottoms they can change things.
We're W.A.N.K, Cincinnati. Oh yeah, all right.
Radio 1 Vintage.
Jarvis.
Hello, Mark.
Hi, how you doing?
We're fine.
Have you got yourselves together? Because there was a little bit of synthesizer frenzy going on there before, wasn't there?
Yes. Well, it got about half a gallon of water on it the other day.
Did it?
So, but it seems to be all right now.
OK, take it away if you're ready.
Lip gloss and cigarettes, the scraps at the end of the day. When it's giving you rest to someone with long black hair. There's no sin making such a mess of the bed. Oh, you never ever wanna go home, and he wants you, so you may as well hang around for a while. Call your dad on the phone. He changed his mind last Monday, so you gotta leave by Sunday, yeah. Laughing at bad jokes and putting up with all of his friends, kissing in public. What are they gonna say when they run into you again? Your stomach looks bigger and your hair is a mess. Your eyes are just holes in your face. And it rains every day, and when it doesn't, the sun makes you feel worse anyway. He changed his mind last Monday, so you gotta leave by Sunday, yeah. Oh, you left your mess by Sunday. Oh, yeah. Now nothing you do can turn him on. There's something wrong. You had it once, but now it's gone. Though you knew there was no
Welcome back to Simon Armitage. Hiya. Right, so as I said before, you read one of your own poems, The Stuff, before, and we asked people to write in over the past few weeks. What's the response been like?
Bulging sack.
Bulging sack. We got there. Right, yeah. You sure about Lard having a go at this?
Yeah. No, it's been vetted.
Has it? Right.
I've not been vetted.
Right, what have you got there, boy Lard?
Well, there's loads of gubbins here, actually. There's some nice stuff here. It's a guy called David Barker. I mean, if I can just... This top-notch seduction scenario is good. I want to read you the last paragraph of this. She lies on her back, thighs quickly parted. Thighs quickly parted.
Yeah, I think one line will do us just fine, actually.
Says it all.
That one, I think we know precisely what's coming. Yeah, go on.
But this is I Blame Smash Hits by the same fellow, and he's a talented guy, and I'd like to meet him, actually.
Right.
I sent in my entry, complete and corrected, not daring to hope that it might be selected. 2 weeks later, a letter astonished my eyes. I had been picked and awarded first prize. A date with a pop star was what I had earned. It was to be Kim, for who I had yearned. Since I'd purchased that poster, in which she was shown, in a highly provocative... Hang on, my teeth. Pose with a cone. I hate these big parties, they're always the same. Let's go back to my place, I'll kindle your flame. A short moment later, we walked through her door. She stumbled, I reached out, we both hit the floor. At first I was shocked, but then it all started. Her hot mouth met mine, lips widely parted. Starts getting good now. Her teeth, like a mousetrap, came down on my tongue as it searched for the source of those songs that she sung. She wasn't put off by the cry that I vented, so I bit hard on her lips, and at last she relented. We lay there in silence till she shattered the peace. Get out of my house, or I'll call the police. Now Kim's made a record called Bite Like a Crisp. I can't help not notice she sings with a lisp.
No, it's funny. When you said you were going to read poetry, I thought that's a bad idea. And I took some convincing.
What do you reckon, Arkin?
And there you go.
Can I come out and support you on your gig?
The country's leading performance poet, Lard. Very good. Entertainment's all very well, but I think it's irresponsible of a show like ours not to dole out some useful advice as well. And this being Motor Show Week, we thought to have some simple motoring advice this evening from our expert, Harry Hill. Harry, nice to see you.
Hello, Mark. Just give a few basic tips about car. Do you car owner yourself?
I am a car owner, yeah.
Chevette man?
Polo man, so you're not far off. You're not far off.
Chevette, of course, quite a sporting car. Now, do's and don'ts of cars. Number one, very important this one, don't pump the tyres up so much that they burst, because that would be a silly thing to do. Often you get the car in the forecourt there and you get a bit carried away and you burst the tyres, you blow them up so big. That's something that I'd encourage you not to do.
Right.
Driving safely, do what I do to drive a bit more safely, to guarantee a safe passage, is put a bit of Lucky Heather on the front grille. And you'll find that makes all the difference. I think if everyone did put a little bit of Lucky Heather on the front grille, that might be a slightly safer place. And of course, if you are unfortunate enough to hit a pedestrian, that little bit of Lucky Heather on the front, it might just cushion the blow.
Yeah.
I think that might just cushion it slightly.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
You're on
Radio 1.
Radcliffe and Lard. Fantastic.
Exploring new music.
Different things, enjoy it, just more music.
Live bands playing, which is what you want to hear.
97 to 99 FM. Radio 1.
Wakey, what? All right.
Mark and Lard with The Breakfast Show live from Manchester.
Good morrow, waking souls. Welcome to the all-new Radio 1 Breakfast Show. The fresh-faced new look for mornings, brought to you by a bloke who's 8 years older than the last bloke who did it, joined on a daily basis by a caring and community candidate from Levenshue.
Hiya, Mark!
We got top games, quizzes, celebrity correspondence, your chance to win a van, and the very best in daytime music.
Smile,
an everlasting smile. A smile can bring you near to me.
Oh, Christ, I can't do it. Well, hello, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for day 2 of our Spawn by Spawn coverage of the Anusol Masters on One Man and His Frog. Conditions not perfect today. In fact, earlier this morning, we were looking at the day being sunned off, but luckily the pond keepers have been out in force, the pools have been restagnated, and will be underway very shortly. Scoff Cruddle is here. Scoff, do you think these conditions will bother former Carvel Capsule Shield winner Lou Binston Bust?
Well, Mark, the Tadcaster Taddy Master is a resilient old cove. You don't get to where he's got to. Of course, in my day, we played in all weathers, on all terrains, even tarmac, with jumpers for lily pads, and it'll take more than a bit of sun to put Lou Binston off the scent. His bitch, well, she's a rumbustious customer by the name of Donna. And who can forget how she swirgled the old flonk in last year's Dairy Lee? Oh, for a glimpse of that mesmeric form.
Thanks very much, Scoff. Certainly has the potential for mesmericity. Anyway, psst on the hockey, and we're off. Now listen to that. Straight away, Lou Binston lowers the tone of that trademark Boodlester Spawn technique. And Donna, well, she's at those taddies like Ron Davis into a druid's nightie.
Come back down, bitch!
Textbook outrun stuff, that.
Away. Good bitch, good bitch.
The Giraffe hurdle might as well not be there. Rein back with a warbling spawn.
Away, down.
Donna uses her onboard sonar to switch the taddies from sideboard to aft. And well, that's quite wonderful.
Stand, bitch.
Look at that, right under the judge's nose, as clean a nutmeg as you'll ever see.
Away!
Just the fetch now.
Oh, donkey!
And well, a bit of a split by the gully.
Away, bitch!
I'm very messy up the sluice.
Bad bitch!
A good round, but just petering out at the stilch. Scoff Cruddle.
Well, Mark, a twitchy stilch is about as welcome as an itch you can't scratch, or a coddled onion for coronation. Lou Binston, well, I think he just got cocky. I think he's still a contender for an Alcan rap, but in grave danger of listening to his own publicity.
Yes.
He should heed the advice of my old ponding pal Chuck D of Public Enemy, who said, and I quote, "Don't believe the hype."
Wise words, Scoff. Oh, and any hats in evidence today?
Yes, Mark, I spotted 5.
Terrific. But people don't come here just for hats. It's pure ponding they're after, and we should get that tomorrow. As one of the giants of frogging, Squodge from Dumple, the vole of Evesham himself, struts his not inconsiderable stuff.
You're listening to Radio 1 Vintage, and up next, it's me, Bob Harris. See you in about 20 minutes.
You've got a friend, the happy sound of Radio 1 Vintage. I am a disco.
Will you do a Jim McDonald style What About You for all my peeps in the stocks in the hamlet of Stoke Newington, London Village, from Warren, holidaying in sunny Bangor, Northern Ireland?
What about you, Sonos?
Right, Jim McDonald. Jim McDonald is still so popular with these things, isn't
Cool
he?
figure.
Right. Jim McDonald style. I was having a drink then for the lads who work on the Grecon, Chris Sharp cabinets, as I'm at a ale at home from Ricky Lee in Lincoln. Right then, and also will you do a biggity bong from Cat to tell Chris M that Stanta was great? All right then. Well,
what?
I mean,
what's up now? What's up with you?
Work's just not coming in, is it?
No, work isn't coming in.
I mean, obviously we've got this radio show.
Yeah, it's not a bad start.
Not a bad start.
It's a foot on the ladder, like. But
yeah, but
we haven't arrived. Have we?
Not arrived. No.
Not arrived. No. Mind you, I mean, the bottom line is, I mean, we've got an agent, but
we've got a good agent.
But if people don't ring him, if people don't want you, then people don't want you. Did you know what I mean?
I suppose you just got to start facing facts, haven't we?
Invent things,
because we have got the best agent.
Oh yeah,
the agent.
Yeah,
agent.
Nobody's ringing.
No, nobody's
obviously
ringing.
Etc. I don't know. Decisions.
Oh, for goodness sake! Who's this now? What now? Oh, hello, Mr. Evans. And what can I do for you, old ginger? Oh, blummin' heck. Phones are rubbish, aren't they? Been cut off. Anthony Wedgwood Ben. Anthony Wedgwood more like. Thank goodness for 1471, then 3, return last call. Excellent, that'll do the job nicely. Let's see how we... Come on! All right, Chris, no, don't put the phone down, no. Slade John Delamere, dear. Sorry about that before, you know. What can I do for you? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Can you give it to me again, mate? Oh, so you're looking for a double active 2 men over the age of 40, one about 6'1"-ish, one about 5'9"-ish, must be northern, play instruments, so not necessarily to a high standard, be interested in football, specifically Manchester City FC, must love music and mic ball, and cheese. Well, you are in luck, mate. Yeah, little and large are the men for you, Evo. What about the Mark and Lard? Oh, I forgot about them. Well, how much is in it for them? 10,000 quid per man. Can you go a bit higher? Oh, you think that's a reasonable price for 1 hour's work, do you? Oh, playing hardball, are we? Well, listen here, face. I'm in the driving seat here. I call the shots. Oh, yeah. Well, let's just see who's boss. I want more. Well, how about £10,000 and 1 penny? I'm not being childish. Not infinity. Well, my dad's a copper. Off. Look here, it's £10,000 and a penny, or you can forget it. Like it and lump it, anus face. Oh, blummin' heck. Gone and done it again, haven't I?
I'm a rock and rolling man in a crappy little van, and I'm dead excited, me. We're doing offers gig in the Porcupine and Pig, gotta be in Inverness by 3. Lards at the wheel, had a happy eater meal. Rock and roll! I got a pair of leather kecks and a pair of tinted specs and an electronic guitar. Started out at 2 and we're just approaching crew, we haven't got very far. His eyesight's crap and he hasn't got a map, just take me home. No! Now I know where I'm going, I can just sit back, enjoy the ride. Well, you better get it right or I'll beat you senseless.
That's not right, I'll just take the next ride.
Well, just get me there, I'm dead excited about this gig, you know him, you always spoil things for me. Many miles on the clock and I'm ready to rock. How's it looking, Lord?
We're on the A37 and we're fast approaching Devon. Shall we stop off for a jog?
God, I wish I'd never met this lardy feckless cat. Just take me home.
No, now I know where I'm going. I can just sit back, enjoy the ride.
Please get it right, cause I'm losing my senses.
Look, and talkie, right? I'll take the next left.
I'm going to practice me singing, right? The Quantix, is that near Inverness?
Yeah.
Honey Dick New and a shovel full of poo. I work on the land, dum dum dee dum. Right, where are we up to? Budley Salterton?
Yeah, that's just outside Scotland.
It's absolutely nowhere near it. Just turn the van round and get me back.
Look here, Bideford, 4 miles.
know, mate, I love the hippies.
Yeah?
Because when I was young, I was brought up in a place where people just dropped in any time of day or night.
Yeah?
And you know, mate, the place was always like full of smoke and weird smells.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was brought up a hippie.
No, mate, I think you'll find you were brought up in a chippy.
Oh, are you?
Do you know I went down to Stonehenge, mate, and it was ridiculous. They were all running around in circles.
Here we go with the rundown on today's Cheesily, Cheerful Chart Challenge. It's about the Battle of Stonehenge between, on one side, the Coppers, on the other side, the Druids, on another side, English Heritage, on another side, the hippies. There's a lot of sides to this, mate.
Is,
you know,
mate,
you better just slam dunk it.
Slam dunk it in a 10, mate. Do you know, they're so naive, mate, to think that by showing their bottoms and front bottoms they can change things. A brush and a tush and this land is ours. Not likely, the Smiths.
A rush and a push.
If you like.
But it's funny, you know. I mean, you know, talk about showing your bottoms. I mean, show us your bottom. Watch me howl. Bark at the moon. Heir to the mineral water fortune. Ozzy Ashbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ashbourne.
Slam dunking in an 8, mate. Oh, rock of ages. Hey, do you know, mate, things got a bit rough when a load of sheep entered the fray. You could see the bloke who was looking after them was hard of hearing, and he didn't even know there was a pitched battle going on. The daft, deaf shepherd.
Top band.
Yeah, top band.
Slam dunking in at number 7. Paranormal in the West Country. Unbelievable that a simple sea creature from Portishead should be able to perform paranormal acts. Throw him a herring, someone. Sea Lion Cope.
Julian Cope.
Slam
Cope. Dunking in a 6, mate. Stone Circles and you. Phew. What with his Stone Circle expertise and his top-flight pop music, I don't know if I prefer Julian Cope in pop or Julian Cope in Stones.
Very nice, mate.
Thank you.
Slam dunking in at number 5. Why don't you get a job? Which band recorded this song? Was it A, The Beatles, B, Steps, C, The Family Mahone, D, Pinkerton's Assorted Colours, E, Boyzone, or F, Offspring?
I don't know, mate. Slam dunking in at 4, mate. I almost cut my hair. Do you know, they make me sick, these hippies, mate. Standing around drinking illegal malt-based spirits and eating boiled root vegetables. It's all whiskey stills and mash.
Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Oh, whatever.
All right, then. Slam dunking into the top 3. 3 records have said Chanelli slam dunked into the top 3 in the last 24 hours. And propping up the top 3 like a ridiculously high stiletto heel on a tarty otter. Whew, these young otters today, don't they know the woods are full of weasels? But with records, it's the beloved.
How you doing? Swine Bear on fire right here, cruising at you from the afternoon airwaves. Feeling good. I'm feeling ready to go down for a bit of red hot loving. If you know what I'm saying. Hey! Tell you what. Hey, I woke up with a sore wrist this morning. Well, I overdid it, didn't I? I knew I should have stopped after the first time I beat the Bishop. But it's difficult to stop playing tennis when you're on a winning streak, isn't it? Particularly when you're up against someone as good as the old Bishop. We were playing on the courts at the Vicarage in the annual clergy versus congregation tennis contest, you know, which we always put it to coincide with Wimbledon. And I was hoping that the vicar would be playing, but he's still on holiday in Benidorm. So Brother Gordon, the big abbot from the abbey, took his place. I didn't recognise him at first. Well, not till he bent over to gather up his balls. And that's when I caught a glimpse of his unmistakable monk's ring. Very ginger he is, I might add. Told me once that he had some Scotsman in him. Well, come to think of it, don't surprise me. Not with a name like Gordon, you know. The only problem with Brother Gordon is that once he started playing on the tennis court, it is very difficult to get him to stop. I think Sister Mary from the convent had the right idea yesterday. She was just stood by the side of the net, and when she saw Gordon coming in her direction, she grabbed hold of his big floppy hood and just managed to pull him off before he could say Tom Robinson's barley water. Oh. Apparently, she'd been waiting ages to play with the rector's sister, Dottie. You know Dottie usually takes care of the drinks and refreshments. You know, the lemon barley water and orange squash. Always a welcoming sight it is when you see her walking towards you with her 2 big jugs held out in front of her. Mind you, the last time I was dying for a drink was when I was umpiring a match, you know, sat up on that high chair looking onto the centre of the court. Honestly, you won't believe how hot it got up there. And indeed, it was a great relief when I finally went down and was able to sample her juice. Anyway, the whole contest was a great success, even if I did suffer with a sore wrist the next day. Mind you, when I spoke to Brother Gordon this morning on the phone, he said he woke up in bed, would you believe, with a really stiff one too. I don't know. In fact, just coming in for this anecdotal stuff gives me a bit of a thirst. I wouldn't mind some of a juice now, you know, orange or lemon bar, any of it's nice, isn't it?
Right then, still to come, we've got a big sort of Cheesily Yeah.
What?
Okay.
What?
I've just got them talking in one ear down the line.
When they do
well,
that.
it's just got to connect on the satellite by Eastern Standard Mean Greenwich.
Time.
Yeah. Because we're linking in with W.A.N.K. in Cincinnati, of course.
Excellent,
so the latest on the American Sports Network.
Did they?
And so I just have to fill seamlessly, right, up until the top of the hour, because at that point, right, it'll just... Ow!
Oh, yeah.
Studio of W.A.N.K. Cincinnati, it's the American Sports Network with Butch Slung and Snatch Frigate.
Oh, yeah! Good greeting tide, sports fans. Butch Slong here at W.A.N.K. Cincinnati with a veritable feast for a suit of stats, facts, and compu figurizations from last Sundown Tide's ball games, all cooked up and ready to go. And dishing out a side order of post-game analysis, that gridiron griddler, Snake Frigate.
Tutti frutti, our Rudy. It's a slam and dunk down time, and we ain't talking donuts. First up, a basketball.
And what a real chalk chip treat for the crowd down Houston Humperdome last Sundown Tide, where the Denver dribblers went the whole 9 yards against the Los Angeles Lubricators. Lubricators slide up 4 over 3 bar none in the mid-central roster standings, leaving those 2-bit dribblers struggling at the bottom like a jumping jelly bean in a Honolulu hot tub. Snatch!
Next up, a spank ball. But not before a word from today's sponsors.
Polly Poppy Pantyhose, where the gusset to die for. They make your legs feel like $1 million.
They sure do, but...
I'm afraid I'm going to have to interrupt you there, boy, but I just heard that tomorrow's playoff at the Seattle Stool Bowl has been canceled. British rock combo, the Chorale from Liverpool, Leicestershire, in the Merseyside of Kingdom, UK, booked the stadium for the first leg of their US tour.
What in darnation is happening in this wonderful country of ours today, Butch? Who's allowed these hog-poking hillbillies called Chorale from the UK of Kingdom, Merseyside, to set foot in our green and glorious land?
Well, I'm going to call up our president, Mr. George Clinton Roosevelt Bush Nixon III, and whoop me some WS. But only after I've said thank you kind of to the good folks at home for listening. Hey, and remember, we'll be back here, the President First Suit with more American Sport Network, W.A.N.K. Cincinnati. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that is more or less it. Can I say thanks to you, Lardy Boy, because it's been fun, hasn't it?
mate.
You know?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And nothing will ever be quite the same again.
No, it won't.
But we're not getting divorced. We are working on a few bits and bobs.
we are.
But we'll be ploughing our lone radio furrows for a little while. That's the end of the biggest show, the end of Mark and Lard on Radio 1. We've had a good innings.
We've done well.
And
enjoyed it.
hopefully we've gone with some grace and dignity today.
Good luck, Mark and Lard, for the future. You'll always be broadcasting icons.
Goodbye, Mark and Lard. Though we never knew you too well, we always listened to you, the jokes you used to tell. We liked your muss and grumble, and all the songs you used to play, and the ShireHorses weren't as bad as some would say. But the bosses at the radio got Edith Bowman in. She's younger and she'll play more songs by Busted. And although you might have told us you've been there too long, we're really gonna miss you and your biggity biggity bong. Biggity biggity bong.
What are you doing in here on your own, though, lad? The party's starting.
Well, you know, we spent a lot of time in here, mate, and just having a last look round, you know.
Yeah. I know what you mean, but...
What?
Let's not torture ourselves. Let's go to the pub and you can buy me a pint.
Yeah. All right, mate, yeah. One last catchphrase?
A swift half a catchphrase.
Okay.
Stop!
Still to come. At 5, it's Steve Wright. At 4, Peter Powell. Right now, it's Bob Harris.
BBC